Footbap Nation!
Let's ride.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Fantasy Footbaps podcast with me, B Dizzle, and my co-host, Paul. Paul, say what up.
What up, Gooners?
Oh, Gooners, it's been a crazy week. There's been a lot that's gone down in the league, and we're going to go through it all. Last week's matchups, all the different free agent acquisitions, the new standings, playoff projections, power rankings, all that good stuff, and maybe even some trades. Paul, you ready to get into this?
I am. I'm ready to power up my career in the utility industry.
All right, here we go. First matchup that we're going to get into. Let's just get into some boring ones first, which will end up being me versus Chip. It really wasn't boring until Monday night. I beat Chip 104-62, but going into Monday night, it was like 61-57. He had Devon Achane, and I had Ken Walker in the Dolphins defense. Started off slowly. For anyone that wasn't paying attention, I started the Dolphins defense because they were going up against Will Levis, and Will Levis threw an interception and then was out for the game, and I was like, oh fuck. Thankfully, they only lost 8 points since then and ended with 4. But the more important thing was that Ken Walker ended with 32 points, just an absolute beast. I would be curious to see. Let's see. I just want to look at the snap counts between Charbonnet and Ken Walker, because it seemed like it was like very. Oh, so there is this real?
Yeah.
59% to 42%. It didn't feel like that.
Yeah,
and honestly, it felt like it was like 85% Ken Walker and then like a little bit of Charbonnet. So that's a little surprising, but I'd have to look back at how many touches Charbonnet got. He didn't get much either way, but yeah. So Ken, welcome back to the team. Like I said before, second best player on my team, potentially best player. You know, him and AJ Brown. AJ Brown's still out for me, but at least I got Ken Walker. Patrick Mahomes continues to be mid for Chip. Jerome Ford continues to be Mickey for Chip. 12 fucking points. Can you believe that? Anyone who watched the Browns game this weekend, did you think fucking Jerome Ford got 12 fantasy points? 7 catches. 7 catches for 27 yards. The dude's a fucking absolute bum. 10 carries for 58 yards. And Paul, I went in and looked. He had a carry for 35 yards. So he had 9 carries for 23 yards outside of 1 carry. Jerome Ford is an actual bum, but he's got these Mickey fantasy points. Ryan lived off the Mickey points last year. Chip's inheriting the Mickey points this year.
But there is good news. Our glorious king has returned to practice. We don't know when he'll play. But
yeah, we're going to be saved. Instead of winning 5 games this year, the Browns are going to win 6. Although they're not going to rush Nick Chubb back, especially when we lose this week. But yeah, anything here you want to talk about, Paul?
Well, Rashee Rice getting
that's
ransacked by Fat Trick Mahomes, diving into his knee.
Chip's own quarterback injured his own receiver. Like, oh my gosh, that was.
And Carson Steele with -1, pretty great.
Yeah, he got in, fumbled. That was like the end of him. You know, I will say, in my work league, I picked up Kareem Hunt. The only reason I didn't pick him up in our league is because I just didn't know who to drop, honestly. Looking back at it, I wish I would have picked up Kareem Hunt in here too, because I don't think Kareem Hunt's good. I don't think he's terrible, though, and more than anything, he's played with Mahomes, he's played with Andy Reid, he knows the offense, they like him. I just had a feeling he was gonna end up being the majority carry, the majority carrier at some point in the season, and Samaje Perine was gonna get like catching work, although Perine did score a touchdown. And then I don't know, Carson Steele's a fullback, so like I don't really know where it came from that it was like, oh dude, Carson Steele RB1. It's like, dude, imagine if when CMC went down, people were like, time to pick up Kyle Juszczyk, dude, like he's gonna take over this backfield. In Chip's defense, though, he was in desperation mode when he did that. But
and another funny thing is the 1 week he doesn't start Ladd McConkey, he has a good game.
I will say, when he put Jaden Reed in over Ladd McConkey, I was so pissed because I was like, dude, now Ladd's going to be on his bench. But then when I noticed he still had Carson Steele in there, I was like, okay, 'cause it was mainly because the Chargers were going against the Chiefs that I was like, shit, what if they have to pass and then Ladd might actually do something? So yeah, I was pissed when he benched Ladd for the first time. Then I saw him actually do something. I was like, wow, holy shit. It might not be Zach Moss season anymore. Chase Brown, beast. Yep. Zeke looks like he's dead. Rico Dowdle's looking good. I mean, Rashee Rice is dead. Maybe Xavier Worthy's going to do more now. Yeah, this was a boring game though overall. Well, it wasn't boring until Monday night. Looks more boring than it was. Me and Chip were back and forth the whole time. Also, Jaden Reed was like, I mean, I want to say he scored early, but then he had like 16 points or 13 points in the like fourth quarter alone. They were losing by so much. Now here's an unfortunate game that's going to be important later on when we talk about some trades being made. Nick beats Austin 108-88. Now, me and Paul have been saying for multiple weeks now, Austin's team looks good as shit. Like, he's got a lot of pieces. Somehow Austin is 1-3. Nick is 3-1. Nick's team looks good all around. Like, in fact, if you think about Nick's like first 4 rounds, where I think he went the first 4 rounds, he got Amon-Ra, Kyron, Debo, Nico, like.
And then probably James Conner after that.
Yeah, probably James Conner. He pretty much destroyed his first 5 picks. Like, all of them were like it's hard to do that. Yeah, like usually you have injuries, you have guys not pan out. Like, no one injured on Nick's team and everyone panning out in those first 5 rounds is crazy. So Nick's team looks like a beast. But Austin's team still looks good. I mean, he only gets 2 points from Breece Hall and 5 from James Cook. It's strange, but Austin 1-3. We didn't think we'd see this. I mean, I just realized Austin played Sam Darnold over Jordan Love, which it wasn't too bad of an idea. Like, Darnold actually got 20 points, but that's a little curious. I probably would have started Baker over all 3 of them just because he's going against Philly. That. Yeah, that would have been a perfect time to start Baker Mayfield. But in Austin's defense, like what I can't believe he benched Chris Olave. What the hell was that all about? I guess he benched Olave for DJ Moore. Yeah, you're right. He's had this problem for a while. Me and Paul have been talking. Austin should go out there, get rid of some of these depth pieces, try to, improve at a position of need. Do something like that. Like, he doesn't want to be, DJ Moore, Godwin, Brian Robinson, Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, cycling through them every week, like not knowing who to start. Like, just try to get rid of some and upgrade or something. But he hasn't done that yet, and it's his downfall again. Look, he wouldn't have won anyway. I mean, if he started Baker, he would have gotten 8 more points, like 9 more points. And if he started Olave, it would have made like a 3-point difference. Austin wouldn't have won anyways. But man, it's tough. Sometimes having too much, maybe it's not the best thing.
And the Breece Hall piss class, even though it was a rain game, 10 carries for 4 yards. That's tough.
I didn't even realize it was 10 for 4. That's hilarious. Yeah. Nick's team looks awesome. Austin's team still looks good, but he's 1-3. Based on Austin's team, what it looks like last week, I would still be like, I'm not worried about him making the playoffs. Would you say that at the end of Monday night, were you like, I'm not really worried about Austin's team? He's still really good. He's going to make the playoffs.
I agree. Yeah. He definitely is still in my mind a top 5 team.
Yeah. So another game here. The Mickey Tour continues. Ryan Devontae Smith books wins 109-75. I don't think Ryan has had anyone score over 70 against him.
I looked 75. It up. I don't think someone had like 83 maybe. So I think that's the highest.
So he had an 83. That's I don't know. The Mickey kind of continues here. It's going against Dave. Dave's now 1-3. Ryan undefeated though, and he's still scoring a lot of points. So Mickey's schedule, yet really good team. This would be like if the 49ers started out against like the Giants and Carolina and Jacksonville and were 3-0, and it was like, man, they got an easy schedule, but they're also good.
Yeah, he is holding his weight. The moment that he drops out of first place on the highest score, the Mickey allegations are going to be flying.
He's lucky that the Mickey allegations aren't a bigger thing right now. They're a big thing,
Yeah,
but oh
they're
my
there.
god, if he is at the highest score, it's going to be daily Mickey reminders, and I'm going to set them in my phone, and I'm going to make sure I remind him every day.
Also,
Go ahead.
big day for Mike Williams, I must say. Almost 9 points. Got to
Oh,
shout out Mike Williams on this one.
Mike Williams. It looks like he's back, almost all the way back here. Should
He is
I?
improving.
Yeah. Should I? So I actually, Ryan, right now, if you're listening, I really hope you're listening, and I can't wait to see your message to me if you are listening. I decided to test Ryan's loyalty. So yeah, obviously we know Ryan loves Mike Williams. I decided to test his Mike Williams loyalty. As we know, Rashee Rice goes down. Xavier Worthy, Chiefs wide receiver, looking like he's going to have an increased role with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. I offered Ryan straight up Xavier Worthy for Mike Williams, and Ryan denied the trade. So I will say, from a loyalty perspective, Ryan killed that. Very loyal to his players. That he sticks behind them through thick and thin. He's not enticed by the shiny new prospect. He likes keeping it real. He's keeping Mike Williams, and Ryan saw the almost 9 points from Mike Williams, and he thought maybe things are turning around.
Yep, and I don't know what to say. I was talking with Ryan before joining this, and when he told me that, I was almost laughing, but almost like, what the hell? How are you even like just having to think about this? Me and Steve was in the call too. He was saying like that's a no-brainer, but Ryan has his reasons. That's loyalty right there at his finest. So maybe him and Mike Williams will be on that vote at the end of the year.
Could be. Yep, that's true. Ryan's at this point. Maybe Ryan's just trying to win the most loyal in the league. But Mark Andrews gets 0 points for Dave. I mean, shout out to Dave. He made the switch to Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely's not doing anything, but Mark Andrews is doing less. So like, I don't know. Shout out to Dave. What a kind of a ballsy move there, but it's panned out, I guess. Ryan's team overall though solid. Good quarterback. Josh Jacobs is he's not doing great. He's kind of touchdown dependent, but I think that touchdowns are going to start going his way. It's really weird. So last year the Packers were one of the worst teams with running back touchdowns, and everyone was like, including me, was like, oh, it's going to regress back to the mean. The touchdowns, they're not all going to be passing touchdowns. Dude, I guess we're wrong. I guess the Packers are only going to throw touchdowns like for the rest of time. Like, so I that's one place I was wrong, I guess. But Josh Jacobs is still a starting running back on a good offense. So Justin Jefferson's a beast as long as Sam Darnold keeps being MVP Darnold. Ryan started Tutu Atwell. That's pretty interesting. I guess he didn't really have anyone else. Yeah, I didn't realize he had Devontae injured, Raheem injured. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, if Zach Moss truly loses his job to Chase Brown, though, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't think he'll like fully lose it. I just think it's, in my mind, going into the season, and that's why I didn't drop Chase Brown. My mind going into the season was Chase Brown is going to keep eating into Zach Moss's workload, and then I was envisioning Tony Pollard and Zeke from like a few years ago. Remember where it was like Tony Pollard was the better, more explosive running back. But Zeke got like more touches overall and like goal line touches and stuff. Although I will say Chase Brown has like 4 goal line touches this year already. I think Zach Moss has 4 himself, but that's like more of a split thing. It's confusing. I think it's just going to be a Tony Pollard and Zeke situation, which I think you could have started Zeke that season. And obviously you could start Pollard. So that's kind of how I envision it. But yeah, Ryan, 4-0. Congratulations, brother. All right, let's get to this one. Oh, yeah, rivalry game right here.
Oh, yeah.
The two teachers, Dewbag versus Mike. Dewey is now 2-2. Mike is now 0-4. And Mike, with one of the craziest starts of the season, starting Tyler Beatty, the third-string running back on the Denver Broncos. At this point, Mike's just trying to test everything out. He doesn't. So something's got to stick for him. So he's throwing Tyler Beatty in. He gets negative 1.4 points, gets carted off the field. So the Tyler Beatty
Calvin Ridley, dude.
Yeah,
Oh my
Calvin
God.
Ridley. I don't know why he started him after last week. I know Michael Pittman kind of sucks, but like I would rather start Pittman and get like anything out of him. Honestly, maybe this is just a mismanaged team. You know, he loses 82 to 60. I don't think it'd make a difference if he started Pittman and like Patterson or whatever. I think he still would have lost, but man, it's a dark place for Mike right now, Paul.
Yeah, he's trying to throw, just anything that sticks is the expression, I think, when you are trying to just see what works. But it's clearly not working, Mike. You got to make some trades, put some more money on the waivers, which you have. We'll see how that pans out.
I did hear a rumor that Mike is active in trade talks now.
Oh, interesting.
Apparently he told some league members that he was done for the season after he started like 0-2, or 0-3, whatever. But it looks like that spark has been lit in him again. And it looks like he doesn't want to be 0-13. So he's going out. He's looking to make some moves. He made one on the waivers we're going to get to. We'll see if it pays off. And then when it comes to Dubag, carried by Daniels, Terry, and Montgomery, basically, I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I'm going to say I think Bijan Robinson is a good running back. I officially am off the Bijan Robinson as a generational running back train. Paul, what do you think about that?
I agree. I was very hyped last year. I was a little hyped this year, not nearly as much last year. And now it's just, without Arthur Smith, I was like, okay, this is the year that it's going to turn around. He's going to be like pretty much Saquon his rookie year's, whatever, second year. And it's not happening. So
yeah, it's and I get it. Like, it's just me. To me, it's the eye test, and I watch him run. And like when you watch Saquon his rookie year, or even like if you could say Zeke his rookie year, Kamara when he was a rookie and stuff, like Chubb. These are guys that moved just like differently. Like the way they moved on the field was just different than other running backs, and you could tell like, man, this guy's like, he's tough. He's so tough to take down. He's moving so differently. His cuts, his vision, all that stuff, like whatever. I think Bijan's good still. Like I really do. I just don't think he's generational. Like I think he's a good running back and that's it. Like I'm not saying he is Josh Jacobs, but I'm saying like I think
he's just gonna compare him.
I think he's at least Josh Jacobs like level, where it's like Josh Jacobs is a good running back, but he's not like close to elite or anything. And that's where I'm at with Bijan. I'm gonna go out one step further. I think David Montgomery is a better running back than Bijan Robinson. Like that. Yep. That's not even. I'm not saying David Montgomery sucks or anything. I'm saying David Montgomery is really fucking good. Sorry, Ryan, you don't have him, and Dewey stole him right from under you. But he's a fucking beast, dude. When it comes to Dewey's team right now, he's just kind of holding on. We're gonna check the standings, points scored, points allowed, and all that. But winning a game 82 to 60, although it might be a Mickey win, I'd take a Mickey win any fucking day of the week. Paul, what about you?
Oh yeah. You got to learn to tune out the haters. Just don't listen to what people say. At the end of the day, your record's going to stay what it is.
Exactly. So 2-2, Dewey's got nothing to complain about there. Little Mickey win, never hurt anybody. Let's go to this one real quick. Man, a lot of fucking blowouts this weekend. Steve beats Kyle 109 to 85. And I will say right now, this was kind of a Mickey 85 by Kyle. I don't know if you're paying attention, but Tony Pollard got like 10 points.
Very last second.
Yep, he got like 10 points in the fourth quarter with that, and he had a touchdown with no time left for no reason. Like this one was even worse. Could have been a 30-point loss. It'd be interesting. Let's mark this down in our heads right now, Paul. If Kyle makes the playoffs and it has anything to do with a point tiebreaker and it's like within 6 points, let's remember that Mickey Pollard touchdown at the end.
That'd be hilarious.
That's the difference maker. Someone jot that down. Anthony Richardson continues his piss fest. He got hurt though, so give him a break. But like, holy shit, I would have never guessed it'd be this bad for anyone who took Richardson. I didn't take him anywhere just because he was going so high, but I thought he could be really good. But I mean, Steve's 3-1, so it doesn't really matter. You got
at
CD.
least he did. He got Fields, and he had 32 points, which I'm sure won't stay. He's just the running back throwing the ball sometimes. So maybe the offenses defense that plays against him will figure it out, but we'll have to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I He finally benched DeAndre Swift, and this is now DeAndre Swift is good for the first time ever. I think Steve's team is good overall. I think it comes down to quarterback, but I think his team's good enough that even
And
with
Kyle
Justin.
Pitts.
Oh, Kyle Pitts, 0 points. Good call. Didn't even notice that. I don't even look at tight ends because they're so useless this year. But you're right. Here we go again. Kyle fucking Pitts, man. It's never going to end with him. That's another one. We already talked about Bijan. Part 2. Kyle Pitts, I said it last year. I even said it his rookie year. I don't think he's a generational talent. Like, that's one I was certain of when I first saw it. I still think he's good, or at least has potential to be good. I'll say right now, I think he's average, and I think he has the potential to be good. But people were like, he's 6'9", fucking athletic as shit. He's a monster. And then I see him out there, and he looks like an undersized tight end. He's barely
like
creates
slow.
Space. He's slow. Yeah, it's like it's a fucking disaster, dude. He's not generational.
People were comparing him to like Megatron. I remember.
I
He was getting
know.
drafted.
They're like, imagine if Calvin Ridley imagine if Calvin Johnson played tight end. And it's like, oh man, like people actually had me convinced that taking a tight end number 4 overall wasn't a completely moronic move. So people are good salesmen, dude, because they had me tricked. That's for damn sure.
Do we think it's the Falcons' fault for Bijan and Kyle Pitts? Like, if like a Brown situation, like anyone who goes there just sucks for the most part.
See, I just never thought of the Falcons that way, basically until Pitts and Bijan, and now this far into it, I'm starting to just think neither of them are generational. Yeah. I want Michael Penix to come in and be the best quarterback of all time. That would be.
Was Kyle Pitts with Matt Ryan at all, or was that like the year he left?
Matt Ryan was like on the Colts and shit at the end of his career. Remember?
Yeah. I just didn't know if like they lined up at all. 2021. He was an All-Star. You fucking kidding me?
2021, Matt Ryan was a Pro Bowler.
No.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle
It's because tight ends fucking suck, dude. 2021.
Touch.
Wait a second. Did they match up for one season, Paul? They might have.
They did. Yeah. 2021 was his rookie year.
Yep. Okay, so that's why Kyle Pitts was good, carried by Matt Ryan. Which, for anyone who's wondering, he had 1 touchdown and was an all-star. Dude, like, come on, dude. Like, that was a Mickey season. Going over Steve's roster though, number 1 player in all of fantasy, Alvin Kamara. In case you were wondering, that's crazy. Diggs is still doing it. We'll see what happens when Tank Dell comes back, but holy shit. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, and then JSN on the bench is solid. Like, Romeo Dobbs now with Christian Watson now. Like, Steve's got a good team. So, like I said, quarterback and tight end is a huge question mark. But, like, dude, for a long time in this league, Paul, I don't really know how much you paid attention to like my teams, but probably from like 2016 to maybe like 2015, the early days of this league, I essentially would just play random waiver quarterbacks and like random waiver tight ends, and I was fucking winning championships doing that. Like my wide receivers and running backs would be amazing, and I would just kind of be like, all right, this quarterback is playing, Kirk Cousins is playing this shitty defense, put him in, let him give me 20 points. This tight end just scored a touchdown last week, let's throw him in and hope for something. Like, so Steve might be able to get away with that, especially with how low scoring offenses are these days. Like, Steve might be able to get away with it. And then for Kyle's team, I'm just kind of worried about it. He already lost Puka. Joe Mixon, maybe he'll be back, but even if he isn't, like, Ramondre looks like he's coming back down to earth. Garrett Wilson is just, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Garrett Wilson, to me, there's multiple players that are like Garrett Wilson-esque at this point. Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, I'd say, Brandon Ayuk. Who are some other guys that like are like talented players but just aren't scoring points right now at wide receiver? There's more than that, I guess. Yeah, well, Amari had like 20 points one game, but Garrett Wilson's part of that group of people who it's like you're like this can't keep up, right? Like, Ayuk, I'm pretty sure Garrett Wilson's there too, but Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, at the very least, are both in like the top 5 to 8 in like route separation. Like, they're creating a bunch of space, every route getting open, and they just like aren't scoring fantasy points. So like, you would think at some point it would like even out. But yeah, like it hasn't, and it's like kind of fucking weird. So there's other wide receivers like that too. I just can't think of them off the top of my head, but it's crazy right now. I will say, top 10 route separation, Brian Thomas Jr. Paul.
Nice.
I tried telling you. But you know what you told me? No, Paul told me Brian Thomas Jr., quote unquote, doesn't hold a candle to Ladd McConkey this season.
All right, that was when I was really all right. I pick one rookie every year, and I love them to death, and Ladd was that guy. So.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it wasn't Brian Thomas. And don't even get me wrong, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is good, but I saw Brian Thomas at LSU in his film, dude. Like, Brian Thomas is fucking legit. He's really fucking good. He coming into this year reminded me of what I thought of Justin Jefferson when he came out his rookie year, where I was like, dude, this is like a big body guy who runs good routes, is athletic, and is on a team where he could become the one, because it's not going to be Gabe Davis, and Christian Kirk is a slot guy, So that's kind of what I figured there. And even though I think Trevor sucks, it's just kind of Garrett Wilson was playing with shitty quarterbacks his rookie year when he did really good. Either way though, let's we're a little off topic here. Steve beats Kyle. Kyle falls to 2-2. And it's a Chicago Bears 2-2, where I'm going to say it right now. That man's lucky to be 2-2. He's better be thanking his lucky stars. There's another team like that too, I'm pretty sure. We'll get there when we get to the standings. Did we already go over? We already went over.
Yeah,
it's just your game left. Yeah. All right. Gorman, Paul. So Chip loses Rashee Rice. He already lost CMC. He was getting some Chip luck to start the season. He still, Chip lucked his way into 2 wins so far, but the luck for Chip is gone. And it's been transferred to Paul. And now we have a revival of the Paul luck. Paul beats Gorman 110-107. Paul is now 3-1. Monday Night Miracle. Paul, for as much as you say, I actually laughed, by the way, and I didn't even say anything when you said it in the group chat. When you said I've already had a couple times in this league where I've gotten fucked over on Monday night, and all I did was laugh. Happen. No, I was gonna say all I had to do was laugh and think to myself, try a couple times a season, rookie. Get those numbers up. Get those unlucky numbers up. I get fucked on Monday night by 3 times a year. But I was hoping for a T. Higgins of 2 years ago. Thing for you, because I thought it'd be funny. That being said,
Lamb. That was another one-handed touchdown, or Garrett Wilson last year against you. There's been some nonsense touchdowns at the end that screw me. Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah. That, but I don't even know if I'd call that when I think of Monday night collapses, I think of Zach Ertz getting you 33 points to win by half a point. I think of the 2 times that I've had defenses score 25 points on Monday night. And
the defense stuff is tough.
That happened last year too. That was another one that was fucking terrible. But either way, Paul, walk us through. Well, you weren't even paying attention. Do you need me to walk us through this?
No. Let me walk through Sunday night first. So, okay. Bills versus Ravens. I was projected to win by 20 or 25 at this point. He had Derrick Henry, I had Josh Allen, and then Gibbs later on Monday. But pretty much Josh Allen versus Derrick Henry. I'm already up by 20 or something. Derrick Henry has a masterclass of a game. 34 fucking points from a 30-year-old running back who's not even human. And then Josh Allen and the full Bills just looked awful, and he gets 7
points. What percent chance did you have to win that before going into Sunday night?
I think it was 85 or 80. Yeah. And then after the game was over, Derrick Henry goes crazy, all that. I think I was down to 20% or 15. It was not looking good. Because he had Metcalf and Laporta, and I just had Gibbs, and I was down by 4 or something. So it was not looking good at all. So I didn't have
I think you guys might have been tied. DK Metcalf and Laporta combined.
He was up maybe about 2 then. I don't know.
They combined for 19, and Gibbs scored 20, and you won by 3.
Oh.
So that you might have been up going
by 2 then.
It. Yeah.
All right.
Either way, though, it was close, and I'll just say right now, going into it, from an outsider's perspective, I fucking knew Gorman's ass was toast, dude. And I'm only gonna say that because I figured Sam Laporta wasn't fucking hitting 7 points. I thought he was only gonna get like 4, and I thought DK would get like 10. It like kind of ended up that way. And when I was thinking about it, like, yeah, 20 points from Gibbs, it was clutch. Like it was a miracle. I mean, you get the Gibbs 2 touchdowns, but even worse, DK Metcalf gets tackled on the 1 yard line, and then he also fumbles. Highlight. Yep, and then he fumbles later on, and it was like brutal, dude. Like it just wasn't going his way. Last drive was going on, and not only that, there was a pass interference on Metcalf would have caught a touchdown, but a guy like tackled him before the ball got there. There, you dodged a lot of bullets.
They did that like 3 times in the fourth quarter, dude. Yeah. I was watching, so I watched the first drive and I saw Monty score the touchdown. I was like, "Fuck this, I'm going to bed," because there's no chance Gibbs gets 2 touchdowns at that point in my mind. So I got in bed at like 9 o'clock, and it was like a gambling addict feeling. I was like, I need to know what happens. I need to watch. So after like, I don't even know, it was an hour or so. It was after halftime, so like end of the third quarter, I pulled up on my phone. I saw that you guys weren't kidding. I thought you were kidding when you said Gibbs has 2 touchdowns or whatever.
Yeah.
So I pulled it open. I was like, holy shit, I might actually win this. So I watched the end of the game, and it was very nerve-wracking.
It must feel good to get a win with a Josh Allen piss class. Second one of the year for Josh Allen, right?
Yeah, man. If they have a bad game, he's just immediately shut down. It's not fun.
Yeah, this is so. I still think Josh Allen, like, you got to rank him as the number 1 quarterback, but I don't think to me, it's not like it has been the last 3 years where he's clear far and away. And it's just because, I mean, you're starting to see it now. Like they just can have these games where they spread it around. They give it to their running backs more and stuff. And it just kind of, things can get ugly there. So those kind of my worry with Josh Allen. Like I'm going to guess that Josh Allen probably had 4 games under 10 points in the last 3 years, and now he has 2 this year. So like that's kind of like, but I still, like I said, he's still the number 1 quarterback, but are you worried at all? Like, for these piss classes?
No. I would say no, just cause the Miami game was weird because James Cook had 3 touchdowns in that game or something. Like he just stole everything. So yeah, it was just not. I think he did have 3 total, now that I'm thinking of it. But that game was just a blowout right away, so it's just like no need for him to do anything, which sucks. And then Baltimore was an opposite of a blowout. Like they get shit on, so he doesn't try.
Yeah.
In the second half, really. But no, I'm not worried. I still trust him.
I was surprised you started T. Higgins over J-Mo. Like I know that J-Mo's a big play guy, but I thought I don't know how much you know, but every time the Lions play the Seahawks, they combine for like 60 plus points. So that would just.
I do remember that one. I don't know if that was last year or 2 years ago. It was like 45-42 or something was the final score.
I think that's been like every time they've played for like a while.
Seahawks, but that was my big concern was T. Higgins or J-Mo or Cortland Sutton, and I picked the lowest one, of course.
So 42-29, 31-37, 48-45, 51-29. So it's like they play each other and they just go off every time. Another thing you got lucky on, Gorman has Amari Cooper, bullshit pass interference or bullshit block or holding call.
Yeah.
Insane. Browns are a fucking disaster. I think Amari kind of sucks now. Maybe he's just not motivated. It's a disaster.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's just done.
Paul gets his Mickey win for the year.
Feels good.
We'll see how many more of those he gets. Now let's take a look at the standings. First place in the East is Nick. Nick is above you, Paul. So Nick is number 1. Paul is number 2. Gorman number 3. Chip number 4. Austin number 5, and me in last place in the East. First place in the West is undefeated Ryan. Then we got Steve, Dewey, Kyle, Dave, and Mike are at the bottom of the West. Still think there's a lot of time for them to turn their seasons around though. Most moves in the league so far is Paul. Underrated Kyle number 2 though, and I think that makes sense with. Kyle's team's been looking rough with injuries and stuff, so I think that makes sense there. I had injuries too, so it makes sense I'm there. Chip as well. I guess the only one that doesn't make sense is you. I don't know why you're
I'm always the top dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck around.
Nick is 0 Nick has 0 roster moves made.
That's impressive.
419 points total. So most points scored is Smith Books. Least points scored is Mike. Most points scored on, I'm kind of pissed because I dropped all the way down to 4 after Chip only put up 60. But most scored on is Chip. This is that's kind of inflated by the
Ryan.
Gorman 155 point game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, but either way, least scored on is Ryan by a lot. The only person not in the 300s. And it's kind of crazy to think like, Chip is 2-2. Kyle is 2-2. I have fucking more points than both of them, dude. Then I'm fucking 1-3. I hate that shit.
Also,
let's see.
the
Go ahead.
playoff percentage, Chip has a lower percentage than Austin, who's 1-3.
Look, I'm just gonna say ESPN
Kinda
knows
weird.
ball because Austin's team
Yeah,
looks
I guess
pretty
so.
nice. Let's look. Oh, so we're all in division now. Let's check home games. Paul undefeated at home.
Nice.
That's pretty fucking sweet. Apparently, I'm 1-1 at home. Gorman hasn't won a home game, and Mike hasn't won a home game. As for away, Gorman's the away king, 2-0 on the road, but Nick is also 2 on the road. Austin, Dave, me, and Mike haven't won a single road game yet this year. Obviously, Ryan's on a 4-win streak. Nick on a 3-win streak. I didn't realize he had won 3 in a row, so he's on a hot streak there.
Out.
Yeah, Dewey's 2-2, and he's won his last 2. So Dewey has made a comeback after starting.
Yeah.
After starting 0-2. Week 1, Nick lost to Chip 191. The only week he's gone under 100 was against Chip. Mickey ?
Mickey, yeah.
Let's take a look at this fucking playoff bracket. We might as well. I wasn't doing it before because it was like fucking 1 week into the season, but let's just check it out what it looks like right now. If the playoffs started today, Ryan gets a bye week, the number 1 overall seed. The number 2 seed would be Nick playing number 7, Kyle. The number 3 seed would be Paul playing number 6, Dewey, and the number 4 seed Steve playing the number 5 seed Gorman. And I'm glad we got a lot left in this season because none of those matchups are really speaking to me at all.
Me neither, yeah.
There are no storylines with literally any of those. As for the losers bracket, though, it's storyline galore because we got Mike with a first round bye for being worse in the league. I played Dave a little, college roommate rivalry, and then Austin versus Chip is an interesting matchup, and we might get into that right here.
Yeah, we'll find out why.
Well, actually, let's check the ESPN power rankings first. They still got Ryan number 1 overall. They got Nick number 2. You moved down, I think. You're number 3 now. Oh, they had you at 6 before or something, right?
Yeah, I was way low. Yeah.
Okay, so Ryan 1, Nick 2, Paul 3, Steve 4, Gorman 5, Dewey 6th. He moved up. Kyle drops to 7. Austin to finish 8th. Let's see, Dave 9th. They're loving Dave's team. They see something there. Chip 10th. For Chip being 2-2 and like he's 2-2. They figured him to finish 10th. Me 11th, and then Mike 12th. Doesn't look like we have anything else new on the message board. Or actually, it doesn't show the message board on here. At least I didn't see it. Oh, okay. We have an announcement. October 1st. Paul brought out the curse of the Chubb. He's back at practice. And as you know, every team that Nick Chubb has been on has been cursed so far, right? Who has him right now?
Mm-hmm. Gorman now has him.
Did we go over that last week? I think it might have happened after.
That trade happened? Dude, I feel like that's why he lost. How do we not blame that?
Oh my God, wait, you're right. Wait. It was here. So let's go back to what happened after the episode, which it looks like a shit ton. What the fuck? Okay, after last week's episode, some defenses were added, whatever. Kyle added Wan'Dale Robinson. A mid-off happened, a little mid-trade here. Mike trades Cortland Sutton to Paul for Jerry Jeudy and Juwan Jennings. Paul, walk us through your thought process there.
So I saw a stat somewhere. Don't know. I think it was Instagram. Don't know why it popped up, but it was telling me top 5 red zone target wide receivers.
Wait a second. We did go over this last week.
Oh, that
because
was?
Remember
okay.
we looked it up and he had
like
0
at the 25 or 20 yard line.
Yeah.
But he did catch a touchdown this week. So
I was gonna say
I'm standing by it.
Yep, going over that trade, Cortland Sutton looks like he might be the way to go. But I don't know, Jerry Jeudy, he's looking good too. So it might actually have just been like a wash if Jeudy keeps it up. But here's the one that I don't think we had, or maybe we did go over it. Either way, Dave traded Nick Chubb to Gorman. And that's the curse of the Chubb. That's why Gorman lost. We'll see if Gorman can bring it back together this week. But he definitely got cursed with bad luck last week. So maybe it wasn't Paul luck. Maybe it was Gorman bad luck because he now is holding the Chubb from Ryan.
Yep. We know what needs to be done here. Chubb needs to be on Ryan's roster ASAP, and the curse can end.
Yeah, and then this chaos-filled league, the league won't be filled with so much chaos. Let's see. Mike adds Cordero Patterson. Let's see. Wow, Paul actually added Xavier Legette. This is
so that was because Deontay Johnson was hurt last week, so I put him on there just in case.
Okay.
So yeah,
the trade went through with Nick Chubb going to Dave's team. By the way, Dave got J.K. Dobbins in that. Maybe a good pickup, maybe not. But either way, Chubb is gone to curse Gorman. Let's see. Ryan picked up Tutu, started him, got 10 points. Nice little pickup there. Steve picked up Justin Fields. Now that who's his quarterback again that's been asked?
Anthony Richardson.
Yes, now that Anthony Richardson's been doing ass and injured, doing ass.
Yep, he's doing ass.
Steve picks up Justin Fields. That looks like it was maybe a good pickup, and then Paul picks up Javonte, drops Xavier Legette, and right after, you guys can see on your screen right now, a little trade went through yesterday at 9:30 p.m. Yeah, this is a blockbuster. The full details: Chip trades Devon Achane, who has no Tua and is looking like shit because there's no Tua, and Tua doesn't look like he's coming back until week 8 at the earliest, they said. He also trades CMC. Achilles tendonitis in both heels, currently visiting a German doctor, doesn't look to come back until November at the earliest. And he also gives up Trey McBride. And in return, Chip's hospital team that looked like it was dead in the water, looking like one of the bottom 3 teams the way it was, he saves his season when Austin gives him in return Chris Godwin, Hunter Henry ass, Breece Hall, and then Baker Mayfield. And if you guys can recall, Chip had Patrick Mahomes. That shows how far of a fall from grace Patrick Mahomes has had in fantasy football, that I actually think that Chip gets an upgrade with Baker Mayfield potentially here.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So
100%.
So, yeah, Chip needed a running back, and he needed a wide receiver, and he needed a quarterback, and he got all 3 of them. And he gave up 2 guys that weren't going to do anything for him in the short term. Now, keep in mind, Chip's 2-2, so he could have easily rode this out and been like, you know what, I can lose some games. Hopefully Achane gets back. Hopefully CMC comes back. He could have been complacent, but no, he went on his salesman shit, and he got out there, and he somehow sold Austin on this thing. And right off the back, Footbap Nation, we're going to get some calls in here. We're going to get the thought process from both sides. Paul, should we call Chip or Austin first? I think Chip.
Yeah. Chip can get the honor.
Okay. I don't see it. He's not lit up. Let's see if this happens.
That's okay.
Oh, and I just hung up on Paul, but it's all right, guys. Come on, Chip.
I know Austin's available if this fails.
Yeah, if this fails.
Was he aware he's being called into Footbap Nation?
I told him to be ready. He said he was ready when you are.
There he is.
Look who it is.
Who it is. Look who finally face on the podcast.
We are going over the trade right now. We wanted to get both your guys' thoughts. So me and Paul kind of gave our thoughts real quick. I'll give you a little rundown of what we're thinking. I said that you were 2-2. You could have gotten complacent. You could have said, you know what, I'm going to sit back, see what happens. If I lose multiple games, whatever, I'm confident CMC, Achane, whatever, they'll come back, and then I'll be able to rip some wins off, do whatever. But Chip, you're a smart man. You said to yourself, I need to win some games now, because it's not about what my team looks like at the end of the season. It's about getting wins now. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now walk us through the trade from your perspective. Walk us through the negotiations from your perspective. It'll be funny to see Austin's perspective on top of this. Give me how this all started. Who reached out to who initiated it? Who was leading the conversations here? Just walk us through the entire process.
This was driven a lot by me being a Jets fan, and wanting Breece Hall, and there was on draft day, the Q next to Christian McCaffrey's name was there just enough. And even Allison was in my ear as well. For anybody who doesn't know, my fiance, Allison, she was in my ear a little bit because she had the first overall pick in 2 of our family and friends leagues. And she did not pick Christian McCaffrey in either of them.
She's smart. She knows ball.
Wow. She knows ball for sure.
She knows ball. She picked CeeDee Lamb, and she picked Bijan Robinson. In both those leagues. And so I was sitting there thinking, all right, I would probably take Tyreek Hill or I would take Breece Hall in this situation. And I obviously took Christian McCaffrey. Now I did last week send I sent Austin a trade offer of Christian McCaffrey for Breece Hall straight up to see what was gonna, to see,
a Paul
if there was
trade.
anything.
A Paul trade, one would say.
I'll give you starter.
A useless asset for your useful asset.
Nope. That's a conversation starter. I like it, Chip.
No, so the seeds were planted early on.
So he declines the trade after maybe it sits there for like a day or so, and he declines it, and then what was that, yesterday? I reach out to him and I just say, name your price to pry Breece Hall from your hands. And he texts me saying something like, I've been waiting for this text. We started talking from there. So I was the one who reached out to Austin, and he so graciously responded. I was at my desk at work, and basically for the next hour or so, all I was thinking about was how to get this trade.
all that was in the back of your head was Breece.
Yep. And so originally Christian McCaffrey was not going to be in the deal at all. And Austin negotiated his way into having Christian McCaffrey in there. And he was really reluctant to put any of either of Olave or Godwin in the deal. Just liked his receiver depth. Totally get it. He wanted to include Zay Flowers instead of them. Zay Flowers kind of scared me off. Just his overall production in the last few weeks has been really spotty. But I knew I tried to include. It was actually going to be Mahomes going to Austin. The original trade was Mahomes, Achane. Oh man, who else? Keon Coleman was in the trade. Trey McBride. Yeah, I think it was like a trade center around those 4, and then there was going to be Baker, and Breece, and then I was trying to get Godwin or Olave in there. And so Austin sat on it for a little bit, came back and asked me if CMC was on the table. I'm like, yeah, for the right deal, yeah. And so finally, that's where the trade landed there.
Wow. So in your in your mind, it wasn't this was an equal parts thing. In my mind, it was like you were like, come on, Austin, you want this. Like I'm a little snake,
I love Achane. I seriously, I think he's just an unbelievably electric player. I love him. I had him last year, and he was one of my sleeper picks that I picked really late in the draft. And it worked out so well. And I think it just kind of set the stage here. I was like, I'm targeting him in this year's draft. He's going to be incredible. I got him in the second round this year. I'm like, hell yeah. Because in my other league, I picked 8th overall out of 12 people, and he didn't make it back around to me in the second round. Someone picked him before me, so I didn't even think that it was a possibility for me to get him this year.
Yeah.
So
what is your opinion about him, Tua-less Achane?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little surprised that the production really hasn't been there. Although I guess if all the defense has to do is protect against the run,
Yeah, I think they're
then
just stacking the box every time from what I saw.
Trying to force
but
passes.
then the Dolphins, I think it was the one game against the Bills where they were getting absolutely blown out of the water. For some reason, they kept Achan in there through the.
Oh, dude.
Was that against you, Paul? I think it was
Yeah,
against.
it was.
I'm watching this game. I was on my way to the airport to pick up Allison at like 11 o'clock at night, or like 10:30, and I'm like, AJ is still in this goddamn game. I'm like, listen, like this is crazy. They're down by like 20 points. Insane. And Tua was out. I'm like, there's no chance. Why? So yeah, I love Achan, man. And
Yeah, when Tua went down, and I was like, all right, that'll take like a little bit of a hit. But in my mind, I was thinking the same thing as you. Was like, they're gonna get blown out, but who cares? Look what happened against the Bills. They just fucking kept giving it to him. Does it really matter? And now, like the last 2 weeks, I'm like, oh shit, I guess it does matter. Like they're pretty much only trying to take away Achan, and you see it when Jalen Wright goes, I think he had 8 carries for like 40 yards or something. Like they don't give a shit about him, but they're making sure Achan doesn't do anything. So that's why I'm like a little worried about that.
There's the you see Tyreek Hill tweeted out something today about how he woke up to trade rumors or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
I did see that. Yeah.
I wonder what the Dolphins are thinking there with their assets. But anyway, that doesn't have to do with Achan. But
Achan to the Chiefs.
Yo, people are talking.
That'd be so. First of all, absolutely would never have. There's no way that they would be like, "Hey, this player we really like, let's give him to the Chiefs." But man, that would be fucking sweet. In my mind, so I'm gonna give the Footbap Nation how I feel about the trade. Real quick and Chip, and then I'm gonna ask you how you feel. So I'm just gonna say right now, in the current state. So I think if you're a 4-0 team or 3-1, your team looks really good. And with like really good as in you have a lot of wins already accumulated. I think this trade makes sense for them. Hey, I get Achan. When Tua comes back, it'll be okay. When CMC comes back, it'll be okay. I can lose my next 4. It doesn't really matter. And I get Trey McBride. This is good for me. However, in Austin's case, he's 1-3. I'm not. We're going to get to Austin when we talk to him then. So from Austin's perspective, I'm like, this is extremely risky, maybe even an unnecessary risk. For your case, Chip, like I was saying before, your team was in really rough shape, to the point where I was like, his team is only a small tier above Mike's team at this point. After injuries, I'm saying, not like before the season started with no injuries. After injuries, I was like, he's so beat up. Now you've like retooled your whole team, and it looks like you're ready to win some games again. So how do you feel about this trade for you? How do you think it worked out for you?
Yeah, I feel really good. I knew, especially once Rashi Rice went down, I was like, oh my god, like I'm in really bad. I scored in the 60s 2 straight weeks. Like I need to do something like really drastic right now.
Yeah. And you basically got it for like, obviously Achan's not injured, but like you almost gave up 2 injured assets, like for like healthy guys. And in my opinion, well, like the way I feel about it is like, you just, in my mind, I'm like, I just have to get to the playoffs. And then it's like, whatever happens. Maybe that's why I always lose in the first round of the playoffs. Because by the time I get there, all my players are injured and I'm like completely fucked. But like, I just always try to like get there. Is that kind of your mindset as it is right now? You were like, I just need guys. I need to start scoring points. Like I need to get back on track.
Yeah, I was also really, really thin at wide receiver. Again, losing G Rice, really tough. Never having Christian McCaffrey, the McLaughlin and the Pirine and the fucking Carson Steele.
Carson Steele.
Oh my god, literally kill me.
What does Ryan call him? Crocky D or something?
Crocky Joe. I don't know.
Crocky Joe or something like that. Yeah. But go ahead.
But yeah, like with none of those pickups panning out literally at all. I mean, just abysmal. I'm sitting there thinking like, I needed something. And getting a wide receiver, getting some depth there, like at least allowing me to push McConkey to the goddamn bench and not have to start him every week.
But he did have 15 points. He had 15 points this week. That's what we were saying. The first week you didn't start him, and then he had 15 points. Oh, it's great.
I did sub in Jaden Reed for him, so it's not like it was a total loss. But I scored 67 points, so fuck me. That's hilarious. This is a good an early season blockbuster too. Usually, I feel like in the beginning of the season, I feel like blockbusters don't really happen. I almost feel like blockbusters seem to be reserved for like mid-season when two teams are both kind of like, whoa, I need to change something. Like, you know, it's almost never like in this scenario. It just came early for you, I guess. Like, you know, usually it takes a while to accumulate that many injuries. But props to you because you've been an all-star at accumulating injured players or injured. Like I'm considering Achan injured in this scenario. But either way, no. I like the trade for you. I don't like it for Austin because of where his team's at. We're going to get to Austin when we call him in. But Chip, thanks for joining in. I appreciate you taking the time to come on Footbaps. Thank you, guys. Let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride, brother. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Now.
But yeah, I do agree that for Austin's sake, being 1-3, it's definitely a little questionable. Just trading for the future, pretty much. But we'll have to see what he has to say. Yeah, maybe he shed some light, and we'll understand.
We're gonna get him in right now. Yeah, that's our take before Austin gets in from Austin's perspective. He's 1-3. We like his team a lot. I wouldn't be worried if I were him. I wouldn't have been worried. Probably would have gone for some upgrades. Instead, this move to me from Austin's side looks like he's like loading up for the future, but like, brother, if your future is Christian McCaffrey comes back in week 8 and Tua comes back in week 8, and at that point you're fucking 1-7, your season's over and it doesn't matter. But let's call Austin in right now. Let's get his side of the story. Let's see if he picks up.
Let's do it.
It's ringing him, right?
He was added. I think so. Oh yeah, he's grayed out, so I'm guessing it's ringing.
Come on, Austin, pick up, brother.
Also, Austin's bench is deep, but he did trade away a few guys, so I do understand, I guess, since he can just ride his bench guys that he wasn't starting because they're good enough to be a starter. So
no, yeah, again, that's what I think. Yeah, I do think that's kind of what's going to end up happening here, or what he's going to say. Okay, I'm ringing him.
There it is.
Hello.
Is he in?
Greetings.
Austin.
Yep.
Greetings,
hey,
brother.
guys. Sorry, I did not see the call.
No, you're good. We just got off the phone with Chip, got his perspective on everything. Heard the story from his end, going over your trade, obviously. Kind of gave our thoughts a little bit, but we're looking for your thoughts. So first of all, start us off. Let us know, the viewers, from your perspective, how this trade went down. Who initiated trade talks? Who was leading the conversations? Who ended up, kind of deciding different pieces and stuff? Walk us through that first. Go.
So to start off, I would have received a text from Chip last week. That Chip text would have said something along the lines of, Breeze. Or actually, no, he didn't even text me. He just sent me a trade request. Did he go over that trade request? Do you want to hear what it is?
Yes, yeah. We're trying to get the story from both ends and see if there are any discrepancies. Give us the trade. I think he already mentioned this, but go ahead.
I'd have to. Is it recent activity that I can see it quick?
I don't think it shows up.
Yeah,
You'd have to go to your email.
Yeah, you'd have to look at your email.
My email, dude. I don't even know if my email has it all hooked up. Hold on. Are we in rush here?
Not really, but do you not remember the first trade he sent?
I know that trade consisted of Jerome Ford,
Oh, okay. Okay, now we need to see this trade. Now we do care about this trade.
Yeah, I know that Jerome Ford was in it. All right, so
That
it was
sneaky
Brees
bastard
Hall.
Chip.
It was Brees Hall for Jerome Ford and Christian McCaffrey.
I
And
don't know
with
what's worse. Going Breeze for CMC straight up, or adding Jerome Ford just as a fuck you. I don't value Breeze Hall for anything. That's so good.
That's great.
All right, keep going.
so I originally received that trade and it was an immediate rejection. Jerome Ford is as we are all Cleveland fans, ass. And there was no way I was going to, trade my number one running back for Jerome Ford and the possibility of Christian McCaffrey. It just wasn't going to happen.
Mhm.
So what's the next question you got for me? Because that was how it originally started.
Then how
next?
did it progress to where it was? You don't have to go through every iteration, but who started the text conversation and how did the talks go? Who was the aggressor?
I feel like you guys would like every iteration. Mainly because
As long as there's not 100 of them.
this trade was not like something that just spawned out of nowhere. So the first iteration would be Achan, McBride, and McConkey for Brees and Goddard.
McConkey.
Declined. Mahomes, Achan, McBride, and
Wait,
McConkey.
can you say the first one again?
Achan, McBride, and McConkey for Brees and Goddard.
Okay.
Then we have Mahomes, Achan, McBride, McConkey for Brees, Goddard, Mayfield, and Godwin.
Jesus Christ.
Then we have Achan, Mahomes, McBride, McConkey for Hall, Olave, Goddard, Mayfield.
Were you guys texting during this, or was he just firing off trades?
This is mine and his included.
Okay.
I can separate it from here on out. I responded Brees, Baker, Davis for Mahomes, Achan, Coleman.
You said no to that?
He said no to it?
Oh, I thought you said just keep going. How many more of these are there?
There's a lot. Then I said Baker, Brees, Olave, Henry.
This is too much. This is too much to even keep track of. How many different iterations was it? Just count the emails at this point before we get to the.
We didn't send official trades. We were basically just firing off.
Oh, just through text.
These were texts. Yeah. Okay.
So essentially, we had some family stuff going on yesterday. So I was like, I'll hit you back. So I texted him and said Baker, Brees, and Henry for CMC, Achan, and McBride. And that's where Godwin got thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
So it became Baker, Brees, Godwin, Henry for CMC, Achan, and McBride.
Okay.
And that's where it landed.
And give us your thoughts on how your team made out in this trade.
Depends on how you look at it.
I want how you look at it.
Can you please go to the standings page real quick?
I don't know if this is going to help your case, but I sure can.
I think we're aware. Yeah.
Go to the standings.
Yes.
All the way at the bottom.
Yep.
Click points for.
Okay.
As you can see, I am 6th, I believe. Now do points against.
Are you up there with me at the top? Yeah, you are.
And I am the most points against.
No, you're not. Chip is, and then Dave, and then you, and you only have 3 more scored than me, motherfucker.
Exactly, but I'm up there. I've gotten unlucky. Now let's go to the scoreboard real quick. Just go to the scoreboard
for this week.
Okay.
Oh, and
this week, if we're gonna look at the box score, the trade's gonna go through actually within 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
My assumption is I'm gonna be playing Baker.
Okay.
If I play Mahomes, that's fine. I don't think even with Brees Hall that I'm going to be in a terrible position in this game. I think it's going to be close. This is going to be a true big trade bowl. But let's go. Click back here.
To what?
Just click back
Okay, to the scoreboard.
to the scoreboard. Scroll up a little bit.
Do you want to go to your schedule or?
Go to the schedule. Go to the schedule. That works perfect.
All right.
So I have lost 3 of 4 games.
Yes.
One of them to Paul's Pissers.
Oh, come on.
Oh man.
I'm not a pisser.
One of them to a low-scoring game with Gorman, and one of them to, in my opinion, a pretty good team, Chip. Nick.
Yeah. Yep.
But I played Chip. Say I squeezed that win out. Then I got Dewey. And then I got Mike and Dave.
Oh, okay. So what
And
you're saying?
if we're going to be honest here, guys, Dave's team is significantly worse than Mike's, too. Dave's team is garbage. Dave had a terrible draft. Dave is not making any moves.
Oh,
So what I'm betting on here with this particular pick is by the time I hit Dave, I'm gonna have Tua back. I'm gonna have Achan full blast. I'm gonna know a little bit more about CMC. I could potentially have CMC by the time I hit the rough patch of my schedule with Ryan, Steve, and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I need is 2 to 3 wins in the next 4 weeks, which hopefully I beat Chip after this trade.
How confident are you in
truly-
beating Chip this week? Scale of 1 to 10.
8.
Okay. What
Ooh.
about Dewey the next week?
Dewey, I'd be more of a 7,
Okay.
and
Mike.
then a 9 against Mike, and then a 10 against Dave.
Okay, so this is actually a hot take in itself. Your hot take is Dave is the worst team in fantasy this year.
I think Dave is extremely overrated. I think if you really pick apart his team, when you look at it face value, it looks good, but we all know Dak's a choke artist. We all know Rashad White is going to be replaced by Bucky Irving probably by the time I play him. It's a split backfield in Pittsburgh. Najee Harris is not as good as Jalen Warren, but he gets the bulk of the load. Tyreek Hill, he'll probably be full. By the time I play Dave, he'll be good. Malik Neighbors is questionable. He kind of looked like a total pussy when he got a concussion, though. Because, in all honesty, he drove his own head into the ground. Isaiah Likely was an overpay. It's Baltimore. I don't know why you'd think just because he had a great week 1 that you need to pay $20 to pick him up.
Damn, dude, I just joined this call.
George Pickens is a good pickup, and the Vikings defense is good. But I mean, in all honesty, Dave's team, I don't see it. I think by the time I hit Dave's team, I'm going to be in stride. I'm hoping for a 4-win streak. I think I just need to get past Chip's team because I definitely gave up some good players there. But I know as long as I get the 3 to 4 wins, the 3rd or 4th win coming on Dave's team, I'm gonna be hitting stride going into the playoffs.
So Dave, welcome to the podcast. First off,
Yeah, thanks, guys.
we got a little hot take that came in here, and I just had to get your thoughts on this. Austin,
Unexpected hot take.
An unexpected hot take. Austin said your team is the worst team in the league this year. What are your thoughts on that? Even worse than Mike's.
Well, I didn't start whoever the fuck Mike started last week. Who was that
Good
guy
day.
that got -1?
Tyler
point?
Beatty.
Yeah. So that is a hot take. I can't really. I am at bottom of the barrel right now, so I'm not really gonna stand. I'm not gonna die on this hill right now. My team is pretty bad.
Also, I think Malik Neighbors is out this week because he got a concussion, and I think that usually
I
means
just
you
have
miss
him
a
in the
week.
lineup right. I pretty much just have him in the lineup just because his projected 17.6 looks good right now, but I'm fully aware that he won't be playing on Sunday. So,
Damn, that's fucking crazy. So Go ahead, Austin.
I mean, let's be real here. I think we have no tight end on Dave's team.
Okay,
I think we
we'll
have
just pull up Dave's team.
Oh, I was trying to get the Packers tight end, but someone else outbid me, so now I'm stuck with the two shitty Baltimore tight ends.
I mean, we have shoddy wide receivers right now, but I do believe by the time we play, Tyreek's going to be good. Malik Neighbors is going to be good, but come on, who's throwing the ball? It's Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more worried about Tyreek.
I think, well, by the time we play, Tyreek will be back in form because Tua's going to be back.
And Tyreek's going to be back on the Chiefs when you guys play.
Well, if Tyreek's on the Chiefs, then I might be in some trouble.
Austin, is there a single piece on Dave's team, looking at his team right now, that you think is good?
Yeah, I would say.
No. Let me ask that again, Austin. Is anyone on Dave's team good?
I would only say Tyreek.
Let me just ask one more time. Is anyone on his team good, Austin? I think you know the answer to this.
I mean, in this current moment, there's not a single good player on this team. if
that's the answer
if we wanted to, we could pair Dave versus Mike, and I think it would be a 50-50 toss-up each week.
I think Dave won that matchup last week.
And Mike would win it this week. Mike has
that's true.
Has a team
He
that's
actually
rebuilding.
he might not be wrong about that because Neighbors is not going to play, and he's my only good player right now.
Yeah, dude, like Dave's team is plagued with unfortunate events at this point. But the Vikings defense is good. I mean, literally, Dave's team is make or break on the Vikings defense.
I got a defense carrying me.
Wait, guys.
That's not a
wait,
good sign.
guys. So I have a secret message. Oh my God, Molly was gonna say Dave's team is ass, and then she bailed.
It's all right. You're not telling me anything I don't already know.
JK could be good too. I mean, I think the main thing, Dave, the only I'm only shitting on your team in the sense that like both your starting running backs should be backups. Like let's be real. Bucky Irving should take the role at Tampa, and Jalen Warren is a monster and should be running most of the carries with Najee just taken into the goal line. Like
what did Najee do this week? 13 carries for 19 yards.
Oh my God.
I didn't even realize.
That's
they're already reducing his carries because Jalen Warren's better. Like, let's be real. And Dave had that selection during the draft too. Not to shit on you,
the thing is,
Dave.
they haven't even really used Jalen. Well, actually, last week Cordero Patterson looked really good and then got hurt on the only drive that they actually used him. So
good because Jalen Warren's the man, dude. If the Steelers were running Jalen Warren nonstop, I mean, their running game would get a lot better. And then run Najee at the goal line.
He'll be used more. I think he's been kind of dealing with an injury this season, but once he's healthy, they'll use him more for sure.
All right, guys. Let's get back on track with the trade here, though. First of all, Austin, I've already given you my thoughts. You're 1-3, and then you trade for Achane, CMC, who's out. Give up some players. It's scary, but like you said, you pointed out your schedule's easy. You're going up against a bunch of pissers. So you think you'll be able to weather the storm until those guys get back and then be in a good spot to make a run in the playoffs, correct?
Can we do one more sidebar? Can you go to my team real quick?
Okay.
So if you were to take a quick look at my team, I didn't need Baker Mayfield. I have Jordan Love and I have Darnold on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I love Breece Hall. Don't get me wrong, but Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be a great RB2 for me, and James Cook I'm going to run as the RB1. If you look at my wide receivers, I have Olave, Flowers, and more. Any one of those can be used, but once Achane comes in, he's my flex.
Okay.
And then if you look at my bench right now, Breece, Godwin, they're gone. So my team right now is completely serviceable. And this particular week, I'm going to be plugging McBride in instead of Hunter Henry. So as long as McBride, I don't know, we say he puts up 6 to 8 points on his week back, that's serviceable. I can take it. Essentially, the way I'm running this team right now, if you look at my team in full, is that this particular lineup with Baker, Breece, and Godwin gone, they're going to be the ones to take me the next 4 wins. And then if you go back, you can go back to the previous window. Within 4 to 6 weeks, I will have Achane fully unlocked, potentially McCaffrey, and then I have the number 1 tight end in the league. I feel confident in my abilities here. I feel good about this trade. I don't trust Godwin. I don't trust. Well, I actually sorry. I don't trust Godwin. I definitely don't trust Baker Mayfield. And Breece Hall is basically what I'm gonna be giving up. I would actually, if when Chip watches this podcast, I want you to know the Atlanta Falcons are gonna run over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whoa.
Godwin is going to have less than 10 points, and if you start Baker Mayfield, he will 100% have less than 15 points. So I'd stick with Mahomes.
Oh shit! He's giving his opponent. He's giving his opponent some advice here. That's how confident Austin is that he'll win. He's like, buddy, you start these players.
I just want you to know. I just want you to know. We talked about this. You guys, you and Paul talked about this. Week 2 or week 1. One of the two. Chris Godwin, I've had on my team for 3 years in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, they trade off every 3 to 4 weeks. So Chris Godwin will get a touchdown every week for 3 weeks. And then Mike Evans will get a touchdown every week for 3 weeks, and they switch. Chris Godwin's a fantastic backup. I got very lucky. Chris Godwin started the year, and he's the one getting a touchdown every week. And the one that was getting all the yards. Chris Godwin is not going to break 11 or 12 points for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then he'll pop off again. But
I see the vision.
I'm fine getting rid of Chris Godwin because I'll start Olave and then maybe I'll start Flowers or Moore. Moore's kicking into stride. Here's the TLDR, guys. I set my team up for the playoffs. I'm going all in. I'm hoping Christian McCaffrey comes back. I'm probably going to lose a running back within the next 4 weeks. And Christian McCaffrey's going to come in and fill that space and carry me to the end.
All right.
Or I lose this whole thing. And you know what? I'm 1-3, so I got nothing to lose at this point.
Exactly.
So
true, you're a gambling man.
I'm a gambling man.
I see it all.
So yeah, I will say that's a tough breakup. You and Godwin breaking up like that. You have him every single season. That's tough, and that actually does remind me. First of all, Austin, thank you for joining us. Thanks for making a nice blockbuster trade, making things interesting in the league. And we'll talk to you later, brother.
Hey, take care, guys. I really appreciate it. Dave, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to rip apart your team.
Oh no, dude, you're not. You haven't said anything I haven't said about my own team, so it's all good.
And then the other thing I gotta say, I just gotta do a quick shout out, Chip. I appreciate you. I hope this works out well for both of us. I'm sorry I had some tough words to say about the players I traded, but to me 3 out of 4 of those players were garbage.
Okay.
So
all right, Austin, give us one let's ride for the road.
Hold on.
He's gonna scream.
Hold on 1 sec.
He's charging up.
All right. He's charging up.
Let's ride.
Hey,
Yes,
okay.
there we go.
All right.
There we go. All right.
Alrighty. Thanks, guys. I
See
really
you, brother.
appreciate it.
So yep. All right. Now we're gonna go on to something else here because that whole thing actually kind of reminded me of something real quick. Speaking of Chris Godwin, the loyalty aspect to all of this. And now we're gonna live on camera see if we can get Ryan to agree to Xavier Worthy for Mike Williams. Which, Dave, would you do that trade if you were Ryan? Would you trade Mike Williams for Xavier Worthy? All right, Dave's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Definitely. Especially with Rashee Rice out for the year. Yeah.
Okay, Ryan basically rejected me earlier, and because
he was
he has
telling me and Steve how he couldn't do it, and he was, I don't know what his mindset is, but
it comes down to
What has
loyalty.
Mike Williams done this year?
Nothing.
nothing.
He almost scored 9 points this past weekend, but Ryan has an undying loyalty to Mike Williams, so we're gonna test it live on camera here, guys. Let's see if Ryan picks up, and no one, give it away. We're just gonna see what happens here. This is a fantasy Footbaps first.
Hello. Oh my
Hello, Ryan.
goodness.
Stoney,
Dave's in here?
Stoney,
yeah.
We got
Oh,
we are
shit.
on camera right now trying to do the very first live Footbaps trade. Xavier Worthy for Mike
Whoa.
Williams. It's on the table right now.
Okay, you can't
Balls in
do
your
this
court.
to me. No.
Balls in your
Why are
court.
you?
I just
Why
was
are you
talking to
waiting?
Paul about this.
Why wait?
The ball is in your court.
Give me a valid reason before I
10,
hack into your account
So,
and accept it.
9.
There's not really one.
8.
Is the I mean, Mike Williams is the last remaining member.
5,
Man, of my
4,
draft team last
3,
year.
2,
Ugh,
1.
I
And
gotta
it's
rock
off
with
it.
my boy,
It's,
even if it's
it's
not
off
the right
the table, and
He
that
denied it.
you just
He denied
passed
it.
the very first fantasy Footbaps loyalty test for not taking that trade live. That was all an experiment to see if you would take Xavier Worthy for Mike Williams. You did pass the test.
Are you serious? I was
Yep.
wondering if that was the
Yep.
case. I was asking
You
Paul,
just-
like, there's no way Brandon actually would do this unless he has a reason, and I don't know what his is.
Unless he has a reason, you're like, what the fuck reason does he have to want Mike Williams?
Like, I was given my reason by like, oh yeah, I really like Mike Williams just because I fucking drafted him. But I
Oh
was like,
man,
what does Brandon know?
yeah.
Maybe
all right.
he's really banking on the 10% that Mike Williams comes back as him this year, and
Yeah,
that's in my heart.
We had to test your loyalty because with Austin getting rid of Godwin, who he has every single season, staying loyal to him, we had to. You're one of the only loyal
I'm
ones
loyal to
left
my
here.
guys, man.
Yep.
Mhm.
You are loyal to your guys. By the way, Ryan, we did find out live on this episode. Gorman traded for Nick Chubb last week, and then he got the Paul luck against him. Is that Curse of the Chubb?
I think Curse of the Chubb travels. I
Yeah.
think it.
I agree.
I think
Defense
it shows.
travels and Curse of the Chubb travels.
I think until Chubb ends up on my team again, like you said, I think that curse is out there.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Might be curious. Ryan's 4-0.
Oh shit!
I
You're
think I
right.
kickstarted
The
a whole
reverse Nicky Chubb
whole
curse.
curse.
Nobody can score on me because of the Chubb curse.
Oh man, actually, while I got you guys here, let's just go through the rest of these recent activity things. So Mike picks up Alexander Madison for $30. Austin picks up Dontavian Wicks for $30. Ryan picks up Xavier Legette for $24. Chip picks up Kareem Hunt for $16. Ryan, you picked up Justice Hill for $15. Chip picks up Trey Sermon for $8. Steve picks up Tucker Kraft. That's a tight end, Dave, that you were talking about, right?
yeah.
I picked up the Broncos defense. I also picked up Tank Bigsby. I mainly because ETN got hurt on Sunday, and I was worried about that. Kyle picked up the Seahawks defense. Paul picked up the Commanders defense. This is loaded.
I'm anti-Browns.
Okay, true. Mike picked up Mike Gesicki. Kyle picked up Geno Smith. That's honestly good pickup by Kyle there. Like if I had an open spot to add, I probably would have added Geno because I think he's a decent pickup. Gorman picked up the Patriots defense. Paul picked up Cade Otton. The fuck, dude? Has he done anything? What the fuck is that all about? Did he do
I don't
something
know.
this past week?
I have no idea.
-4.4.
All right, he's
6
on
and
the
8.
hot streak.
6 and 8. All right. And then we also had, so yeah, I guess let's get to this first. So Trey Sermon is the backup running back for the Colts. Paul has Jonathan Taylor. Paul, for whatever reason, even though he has Jonathan Taylor, only put $3 on Trey Sermon.
I did not think anyone would.
Okay, but hear me out. Hear me out, because if anyone can recall, week 1, Paul picked up the Jaguars backup running back for fucking $8 and took him from me, Tank Bigsby. And I was like, why the fuck did you do that? You don't even have ETN. And Paul was like, duh, duh. And then
They're split
so now
carries.
here we go.
All right.
So now he got a taste of his own medicine. Trey Sermon gets picked up right under his nose. Same exact situation. Which led to this trade where Paul trades Christian Watson, Trey Benson for Trey Sermon, who may or may not even start a single game this season. But if he does start a game, I guess that could maybe work out for you as long as Christian Watson doesn't do shit the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's all depending on Christian Watson. I was going to drop Trey Benson literally tomorrow for someone else. I can't remember. But
You love Trey Benson. I can't believe you've had him on his team this long.
I was waiting for James Conner to get hurt, honestly.
The
I
Dave
thought
laugh
there
in
was
the
no way.
background.
Dude,
There's no
Trey
way to
Benson
stay
just
healthy.
Makes me laugh.
First of all, I'm looking at this now. I don't think anyone else bid on Alexander Madison. Mike was the lone Madison bidder, $29. Austin, even though $28 is a lot for Dontavian Wicks, he had someone put 14 on it. So, he wins that. If he wanted Wicks, he got him. Ryan, this one hurts. You are on, like I said in the group chat earlier, Ryan's seeing ghosts on the waiver wire. He's like, oh man, this person put $20. Time for me to put 24.
I have reasons.
No. Before we get to that though, you put $24. I was the only other one that put a bid on. I basically was like, all right, if I don't, I was like, if I don't get this person, I guess like he'll be one person that I try to get. So $24, Xavier Legette, go for it. Explain the reasoning or what you were worried about here when you went up to $24.
So like, I've seen the spending in this league so far, right? I've seen the $20 on Carson Steele, like 18 on Allen. I've seen Mike throw just huge chunks. Who did he throw like $30, $40 on so far?
Alexander Madison.
Yeah,
and
well,
also,
this
but
week
like
he did that,
like
but I think Mike also spent a lot on somebody else, right? Oh yeah, that guy.
Off. Yeah.
And so this week I feel like
has
looked like the best wire pickups so far. Like I think Wicks was good for Austin. I think he's like good and playable for this. I mean,
for the next like few weeks
out, right?
or so, yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's a good one. And then the next best one for, like, in my opinion, was like the Legette bet on like, hey, this guy looked pretty decent with Andy Dalton. Let's see where that goes. And, since I'm also kind of thinking about late season stuff, like, rookies kind of ramp up and get better at the end of the year, right? So it's kind of a bet on that. And
that
so
sounds like a YouTube Shorts ass comp. What are you
I'm
hanging out on the Paul Shorts too?
He's listening to
I am not I'm not knowledgeable enough on the NFL to where like I can't be like I have to be tapped in a little bit to like
to the Paul
know all
YouTube
these
Shorts
players and stuff. And so it's like this week a lot of people, they were saying Wicks, like spend a lot of money on Wicks. Legette right there, don't spend as much, but like he's definitely someone you want to pick up. And like the range I for this league I was thinking maybe someone would throw like 15, 16, 17, and I'm like, screw it, I really want him. I'd go over that by a good amount just to secure that. And then nobody did, and that blew my mind.
Well, if you want to have a little reassurance, last year there was the 1 week where I spent like $26 on Tank Dell, and like I think maybe someone put like 10, and that was it. And I was like, what the fuck? I started questioning if I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and that worked out perfectly for me because he almost like single-handedly brought me to the playoffs. So I'm not saying it's doing anything wrong. I'm just saying you're seeing ghosts, brother. No one likes seeing ghosts on the waiver wire. On this league, are you in another league?
No, but I mean like. Oh. Relative to this league, there's ghosts in here, I would say, because I'm fighting nobody.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at some of the other bids, dude, did I miss like a fantasy stimulus check or something? How did everyone have like $30 to just be flying around?
The general sentiment going into this week was that the wire has been complete shit. This is kind of the week where there's actually some decent options, and so that's why I thought there'd be a lot more people spending.
I can't believe Chip only got Kareem Hunt for $16. Don't get me wrong, Kareem's washed, but he's the fucking running back for the Chiefs.
I agree.
I
thought Mike was going to spend 30.
I thought that he was going to go for 30 too.
Yeah,
I was shocked with that.
I thought Mike was going to spend the rest of his fab on 2 running backs because he's so down bad, and that's another reason why I put money on Justice Hill. I thought Mike would spend 30 on Hunt and then 10 on Hill.
Actually,
and I'm like,
you're
okay.
Right. Why did Mike not put 29 on?
He's just checked out, man. Dude. We need a punishment for the low score.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, Mike did say that he has Zamir White, so and Madison's outscoring him, so he's like thinking whatever there. I will say, Dave, week after week, I always check you. Like I check these offers. You get outbid every single week, dude. Like you're not even close most of the time.
No, I have no idea because I'm like, all right, because dude, my thing is, I kind of see why Ryan went all out on his guy Xavier Legette because I'm like, all right, I'll put like $7 on this guy. Who the fuck's? And then everyone is like 15. But then a guy I think would be bid on higher. Never is.
This is what my
so
logic
I never really know how to gauge it, and I don't want to look like
worse.
an idiot putting like $20 on someone who no one else bids on.
This man's calling Ryan an idiot to his face.
No. I'm not at all. I understand Ryan's logic there. I should have put more on Kareem Hunt because I could use a running back.
Yeah.
But, I'm like,
I think, Dave, I feel that logic is like I would just feel worse if I'm just getting outbid every week, I think I'd feel not as bad if I just overshoot by a lot of money, but still get the guy I wanted, you know?
Yeah.
Holy dude.
That's
I
kind of
think,
how I think about it, but
no, for
I could
sure.
be stupid.
And the other thing is too, I always end up with like $60 left at the end of the year. So like, why am I being so frugal?
Right.
Yeah.
You can't hold it over.
It's definitely tough. Like I said, if you have a guy you like, you put your money on it and you don't feel bad
Yeah,
about
you
it.
ever
Like,
listen to
Hey,
a
that's what I
Xavier
did about
Legette
Isaiah
interview, man?
Likely.
That guy's hilarious.
I just know because oh shit, I'm trying to think of what. Oh, Braylon Allen. I liked Braylon Allen a lot, and in my mind, I put what, like $9-10, and I was like, man, I'm probably overspending, but I was like, I think he's good, and if Breece Hall goes down, like he could like be a league winner. Like he's like one of the best handcuffs that you can have. And then
Right.
Chip put 18, and as much as I was like, man, that's crazy, what the fuck, I also was like, man, I really fucking wanted Braylon Allen. Like that
Right.
kind of sucked.
Yeah,
like I
dude,
would have
we
been
should've
pissed
known the
last
Jets
year.
fan.
I would have been pissed last year if I only put like $8 on
That's the
Tank
type
Dell
of
and
stuff
didn't
I
get
was
him.
scared about this week. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think Legette's good season long, same as you said. I think Dontavian Wicks is a good like next 4 weeks potentially. You know, I don't know. Him and Dobbs are the same to me, so that could end up blowing up in his face. But Legette, like season long, good. Kareem Hunt, I said it earlier, but like my whole thought about the Chiefs backfield was, what do you call him? Like Crocky Docs or something, or what the fuck?
Crocky J.
Crocky
That's
J.
his little. That's his. It's an alligator named Crocky J. Like, what are you
Okay.
doing, man?
I like Crocky Joe better.
Crocky Joe, I think is what we said earlier. Yeah.
Mhm.
Crocky Joe, though, I was like, first of all, that man's a fullback. Second of all, they just brought in Kareem Hunt, and it wasn't because they brought him in just for the shit of it. Like, they just were like, oh, he fucking he's played with Mahomes, he's played with Reed, he knows the offense. Like, that's why they brought him in, because they're gonna actually give him playing time, you know. So I was shocked people didn't take him last week, and if Etienne didn't get hurt this week, like I would have picked him up this week, or I would have picked him up last week too. I mean, I picked
was
him up
shocked
in
he
my
didn't
work.
go last week.
I picked him up in my work league last week, and I think in my mind I was like, I don't want to get fucked over by him in 2 leagues. It's kind of the same reason why Austin had offered me like DJ Moore in like trade talks, and I was like, I have DJ Moore in my work league, and it kind of fucking sucks. I don't know if I want him in 2 leagues. Like, I'm kind of sick of him. So that's kind of a tough part about being in 2 leagues too. But Paul, how does it feel getting beat at your own game with this defense situation here?
I was a little upset about that. I thought I was thinking of putting it up to 5, but I was like, I just feel like an idiot because I feel like no one else would do that. But
I put
then
it
I
up to
also
5
realized-
because I was like, Paul's not going to go up to 5. He's
Well-
going to do 3. And then I was like, but what if
Yeah.
he goes forward playing my game? So let's go 5.
Yeah, 4 would be my max. But then I realized after like today that they're the number 2 ranked defense, and if I saw that yesterday, I would have probably put like 6 or 7.
That's pretty much why I put 5, because they have been like tearing up all these guys.
man.
Yeah. Either way, though, that is the recent activity, all the different bids that went in and stuff. Let's go through real quick because this is a longer episode. Let's go through the matchups. Let's start first, Ryan, with your matchup versus Steve. You 4-0 versus
Be a fun
Steve
one.
3-1. Yep, Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, this
2
is top of
teams.
the West. Battle
Yeah,
for
the
first in
battle
West.
for the battle for the West. Dave lost his spot at the top of the West. It now belongs to Ryan and Steve. Steve's still up at the top. Ryan, how are you feeling about this matchup?
I want Steve to score 200.
Oh God,
I want Steve to
you
score
already know this
200
man
for sure.
scoring 70. Justin Fields is going to get injured in the first
Realistically, though, I don't
quarter.
know. I think it should be good.
Tucker
I think,
Kraft is going to crap his pants.
I don't know. I mean, it's that or Kyle Pitts. So I think
Oh, true.
know, he's getting what he's getting there.
Kyle
I don't know if he
Kyle
has
Shits or Tucker Crap. Which one you starting?
I don't know if he has a bye week guy. I still have Devontae out. But Tutu Atwell was cool last week. It was a fun Saturday.
Tutu Atwell,
pickup
I
right
sometimes
before
will be
the Sunday pickup.
I'll sometimes be scrolling on TikTok and get Tutu Atwell like playing Fortnite with his
Yeah,
friends.
I think you told me that like the week before I picked him up, and that had Tutu Atwell in my mind. And then that Sunday
Dave's a
morning,
big
I'm like,
Tutu
God crap,
Atwell
I need
guy.
somebody.
Dude, I've been on the Tutu
That's a
Atwell
good
train
option
for
without
2
Cooper
years.
and Puka.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I really knew who Tutu Atwell was before Dave would constantly say his name. I think just because it's
a
a
great
funny name. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny he actually gets like playing time and does shit now.
Yeah, 10-point games in a row.
Yeah, just looking at this matchup right now.
I don't like Zach Moss on Baltimore.
I'm gonna call it right now. I know Curse of the Chubb. I'm going against the curse. I'm saying Steve wins this game. I'm saying
He
Steve
might
wins
be
it. Paul, what do
exempt
you
from the
think?
curse.
I agree. I think Steve is just always solid. We can't ignore the fact that he's one of those top dogs in the West year in, year out. So I got to go with Steve here.
Ryan's too much of a newcomer. He just doesn't have what it takes. Ryan, do you think you can win this one, or do you think this
I don't
game's
know
going
if
to Steve?
should I even say anything as a prediction this week?
No,
I mean,
Dave. Who do you think,
Yeah.
Steve or Ryan?
Ryan.
Oh, Curse of the Chubb!
Damn.
Dude, Dave's just saying that to make up for stealing Chubb from right under your nose, kid.
No,
He's
dude,
trying to make
Ryan-
up for
That's true. Oh my! I totally
4-0,
forgot about this
dude.
until
No
now. I'm
way,
upset
man.
again.
it. Dude.
Ryan's rolling.
All right, so right now we have 2 picks for Steve, 1 pick for Dave in that matchup. Now let's go to Kyle versus Mike. I don't know if we want to look
It's
at
just
this
a piss bowl.
too hard. Yeah, this is a piss bowl. Even though Kyle's 2-2, I am gonna go with Kyle. Whoever Mike's plays, I'm gonna pick the opposite. What do you guys think?
I think Mike's not winning a matchup this year.
I'm
Holy shit.
just looking at Mike's running back situation here, and it's
He
my
keeps
eyes
doing
are
that shit,
hurting,
yeah.
man.
Cordell Patterson.
Neil Patterson? Wait.
This is
He's
why I
hurt.
was so surprised he did not gun for like 2 backs in this wire. I just don't get it. I
Cordell
don't.
Patterson's gonna be out, and then Mike's gonna start 2 Vegas running backs.
Wait. Real quick on Patterson. I think he had like 6 carries last game, but then got hurt. Other than that, I don't think he's even 6 points in the last.
Like Mike could have easily
But
slotted
still.
Justice Hill in here.
I mean, still.
Yeah, doesn't he have Justice Hill? Where is
no,
Justice
that's
Hill?
why I picked him up. I
What
picked
the
him up
fuck?
because
Why did I think he picked him
Mike.
up?
I thought Mike was going to spend big money on him.
Yeah, Mike's dropped the ball. I don't know what's going on. Kyle's going to be 3-2, and I can't remember if I had said it before, but the Chicago Bears, real life football, I think are lucky to be 2-2. Like they kind of look like shit, but they're 2-2. I think that's Kyle right now, and I think that Kyle is going to be 3-2, and it's going to be kind of the same thing. Like very questionable. Where I'm like, man, his team's beat up, and people kind of aren't performing, but he's 3-2, so you can't really argue with the results. But is anyone picking Mike here? Or are we all going Kyle?
I'm
I hope
sorry,
not.
Mike.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, Mike, too. I actually.
Travis Kelsey could have one of those games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
masterclass.
He's got
Brock
his
Purdy against
receivers
Arizona.
are actually good. Like
Yeah.
Mike's receivers actually are good. I
If
didn't
Mike
realize
Yeah,
that.
it's just
Pittman
the running
back with
backs.
Joe Flacco plays.
Yeah, if Mike wins, it's going to be on the. Yeah, Flacco's playing. That should probably help Pittman.
There you
If
go.
Mike plays, or if Mike wins, it's going to be 23 points from Purdy, 25 from Chase, 18 from Kelsey, like maybe 12 from Pittman, and that basically he wins, like 88 to 75 or something.
Then Cordell Patterson steals the starting job from Najee on Sunday night.
I don't know, 13 for 19. You better watch out, Najee, because
No, I'm not joking. Patterson looked like better in the one drive that he actually got carries.
when I've seen Cordero Patterson play this season, I mean, even in the off season, I've been like, I don't know how he still has any burst. Is he like 40? Why does it feel like he's old as
31, I
shit?
think.
Dude, I don't
Because
know
I looked
how
it up,
he's
too.
still doing
I
this.
looked it up on Sunday. I was like, how old is this guy? He's been in the league forever. I'm pretty sure he's
Mike
like 30.
reunited with a classic too. Remember, he had Patterson that one year where Patterson randomly was
Yeah,
really
on the
good, and
Falcons.
then he took him the next year too and
Dave,
stuff.
wasn't there a tweet from some player being like, whatever Cordell Patterson's number is, he runs harder than Najee? Did you see that?
No, I
Wait
didn't
a
see
second,
that, but I
like-
believe it.
Like
I think Najee runs hard. I think he just doesn't. I don't
Yeah,
know, he
like
doesn't
they
have
were
the
just
speed.
memeing Najee and
Yeah,
being
like-
like, oh, the backup runs harder.
I think Najee's just slow. Like I think.
I don't know
Cordell's
who it was.
Fast. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that, but I believe it.
Yeah. All right, Kyle over Mike. We got 4 picks for Kyle, 0 for Mike. That's tough. Dave, let's head to your matchup real quick. We're not going to make you pick who you think is going to win, but how do you personally feel about your chances this week?
Well, I would feel okay if Neighbors were actually playing, but considering I don't think he is, not great.
You're projected to win
I'll
right
probably-
now.
Well, does Dewey have anyone on bye or anything?
He has an
Devontae
injured.
Adams
He has an
has
injured
Chandler
player in,
in.
and he has Ty Chandler in.
All right, well,
Oh,
there
and
we
Adams
go.
is
I might have some luck.
Just to start Ty
probably-
Chandler. Oh my
I will
god.
probably have to play what's his name, Jordan Addison. If I had to
That's
guess.
not bad.
dude,
Didn't he just fucking score
Addison
30
looked
points
great
last week?
No, he's good. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that's.
Why are
my
you
luck.
complaining
No,
about
you could
that?
throw him in there.
Why
for
are you
sure.
complaining, Dave?
Quick
You're
complaint.
definitely complaining right now, and maybe you should stop.
I'm gonna be honest. Coming into this matchup, when I was thinking about, like, I know Dewey has Montgomery. He's on a bye, and I'm like, Jaden Daniels. Cleveland's defense is. I mean, it's pretty shit this year, but I don't know. Going into this, I was about to be like, Dave, you're losing this one. No Neighbors. I think if you had Neighbors healthy, I'd pick you to win easily. With Neighbors not healthy, I think this is a close matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
comes
actually have
down to
more of a
Neighbors.
chance than I
A
would have
little
thought.
close,
but-
yeah.
Maybe I'm biased because I want to see Dave get back to his former glory. I'm picking Dave to win this one. Ryan, what are you thinking?
Let's see. Well, I'm definitely picking Dewey because of the Nick Chubb curse. Fuck you, Dave.
Ooh, okay. All right, Paul, tiebreaker.
But Peppers stays even if I don't have him on my team.
It's what's done
lingers
in the past
forever.
is done. You've left a stain
Alright.
of blood.
Fair enough.
No, I'm
Chubb.
gonna go with Dave on this one. Dewey starting Ty Chandler, I did not see, so
All
he
right.
deserves to be punished.
All right, so we got 2 for Dave and 1 for Dewey. Next matchup here. Now we got a lot of potential game of the week. So let's
makes
first. Yes, I know, Dave. Doesn't it make the
Okay.
trade that much more interesting?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I did
The
not
trade has
even
gone
realize
through.
that.
It's
So we-
officially
Trade-off?
gone through as
It's
well.
officially gone through. That means we're going to get the first look. Either way, let's look at this real quick. So first of all, like I said, Clash of the Titans. Steve versus Ryan, 4-0, 3-1, both West division. Huge matchup. We got these 2 close matchups. Kyle and Mike, Dewey and Dave, close matchup, and now we got the trade bowl. Austin versus Chip. Trade has gone through. Are the lineups set? Chip has Brees in. How is Chip only projected 82? Am I missing something?
Deion Coleman, he needs Godwin. in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So once he puts Godwin in, he'll be projected like 88. Austin's team looks like it might be set. Well, he has Achane on the bench, so Austin's team isn't even set potentially unless he's
Wow.
sitting.
Yeah, he might move him
Achane.
in instead of someone here, instead of one of those receivers
Oh
in
my
flex,
god!
maybe.
Based on ESPN, like what ESPN is saying,
Did Zay Flowers.
projection wise. Oh yeah, he'll probably. Well, Cincinnati's defense does suck. That's tough. Austin was supposed to solve his issues with
and
the
he can,
flex spot,
now we
not
can
make
have
them worse.
the Wicks play too. Yeah,
Yeah, this is.
if you want to do that and go a
He's
little fun
he's
with
got
it.
some decisions to make
He's got a
here.
lot of options.
Chip doesn't have a lot. Oh, he'll put Baker in too, so that's another piece there. So, if Trey Sermon plays too, I guess
No, he's gone. I got him. Remember?
that's true. Sorry, Footbap Nation. I'm giving you false information here, but based on ESPN projections, maybe what Austin was saying earlier about how he's not even a little bit afraid of Chip this week. Maybe there's some truth to it, guys. Who do
He's
you
onto
think
something.
Wins this, Austin or Chip? Paul first, if you want to start.
I'm 100% in on Austin. Unfortunately, I do appreciate Chip giving me Sermon. I love and adore that, but I got to go Austin here.
Dave, give us your pick.
I'm leaning Austin, but it really depends on if Hunt does anything, and then if obviously Godwin will be replaced for Coleman. So I don't know. It should be a good matchup. I think I might lean towards Austin as it is right now, but
Ryan.
yeah, we'll go Austin.
I think I'm also leaning towards Austin here. I think it could be a little closer than what we're thinking, depending
Dude, we're
on
giving-
who Austin decides to start or sit. Like, I think that's pretty important. He's got so many
Yeah,
options.
That is going to
But
be important.
I think if you get like a good lineup in there, I think it should probably be Austin.
yeah, and
But
I'm going to
you
say
never
right
know.
now,
Chip
I'm
probably
picking.
subs his defense, right? I don't know.
I don't know. Cowboys against. Well, the Cowboys defense just sucks. I don't know why.
Oh, it's against Pittsburgh. Okay.
Pittsburgh. I'm going to say right now, we might be like commentator cursing this game because all 4 of us picked Austin, which almost always ends up meaning
Chip
the
could
other
definitely
team
have
wins.
a chance.
I know
Oh, yeah, this is like
that's
a very
what's
fair
scaring me
matchup.
here. But we all picked Austin, 4-0 for Austin. I'm sorry, Chip. No, like after we just said Chip saved his season,
It's
I
not
feel so
definitive,
wrong.
Chip. It's
Yeah.
4-0, but it's not definitive.
Yeah, those were leans. Those were leans.
Mhm.
But still like what you did with the trade, Chip. We're gonna be rooting for you over here. It's just kind of what we're thinking the matchups, how it's gonna play out. Here's a little matchup here: Paul versus Nick.
This is
Another
top of the
Titans
East.
clash, top of the
Ooh,
East.
Yep.
Oh.
Top of the
Good.
East playing. Paul, how are you feeling about your chances in this one?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not too worried, which means I'll probably lose, but as long as if Ingram fucking plays, I'll be happy. That's what I want.
All right. Ryan, do you have a pick for who you think is going to win this matchup?
Does Nick have to play Tyler Lockett?
Pretty much.
I don't
he
even
set
think
his-
Lockett's like
so
a
Amon
terrible
Ra's
option.
He's got
out.
Douglas as his other option.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Is Nick's starting lineup is top tier. If you take Amon Ra and put him in there, like I love that starting lineup, but it's tough. It's gonna be tough on these bye weeks because I think his bench was a little rough. But
I think
I
if
guess
Lockett
it's not
gets
the
him
worst. Yeah, it's
8
not
to
the,
10
it's still not the
points,
worst.
then yeah. I mean, this is Clash of the Titans, but not even a full strength Titan on one of them. Like this is kind of some Paul Mickey shit. I'm
Yeah,
not even
this
gonna
might be a
lie.
little Paul luck with
Come on,
what
gives
Nick's
on a bye,
lineup
dude. What's
is
he talking
looking
about?
like. To be honest, you know.
We
Gibbs is
all
on a
have
bye.
to play Nick at
Oh,
full
Gibbs is
strength.
on a
and
bye.
then-
I just have to play
That's
my
my
2
hero.
other 20-point per
Gibbs
game
is on a
running backs.
bye. I have to play
Oh,
Jordan
man.
Mason instead. God damn it. What's he this year? The fucking fifth
No.
best running back in the
I
fucking
gotta play
NFL.
Javonte Williams, dude. He's
Paul,
my
what
flex.
would you do if you got another Josh Allen piss class? What would you even like?
I'd be pretty upset.
Actually,
Would you be
but I think-
panicking?
So wait,
No.
let's real quick start it out. Panic level on Josh Allen as it stands right now.
0. He's
Okay,
0.
he gets 5 points this week. Panic level on Josh Allen.
0. He's fine.
That's
Whoa,
crazy.
okay.
That means you would have more piss class games than master class games.
Oh, I
It's
didn't realize
okay.
he had 9 week 2.
Yeah,
It's because they went up so
Hit on
much.
Miami so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little Paul
James Cook
excuse
took every
there.
fucking touchdown.
Ryan, who's winning this matchup, Paul or Nick?
I'm thinking probably Paul, but
Dave?
it's not as far apart as this 10 points. I think this one's closer.
Yeah, I'm going Paul. Deontay's been putting up some master classes recently with Andy Dalton, so I feel like that's going to be the X factor in this matchup.
Dave, you and your cousins didn't answer me this past weekend when I said it. I
What'd you
did say I've been a day one Deontay Johnson believer. What, as a
I mean-
Steelers fan, what are your
Oh,
thoughts?
I've never hated Deontay. I actually thought when he went to, I didn't realize how bad Bryce Young was going to be. I actually thought that was like a really good pickup for them, and now it actually is proving to be since they have a guy that can just throw the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked that pick a lot late in drafts when I saw him going like 60, 70
Yeah,
overall.
it actually is kind of funny because you taking Deontay meant that I got Chuba Hubbard, and looking back at it, I'm like, it's because Ken Walker got hurt, I needed a running back, and
Like a win-win.
yeah, I was like, it actually ended up like working out for me. Although I do like Deontay, like I like him a lot, and I thought that was a good pick when you got him. And I'm going Paul in this matchup because Nick's not at full strength, and that's all I got for that one. Last matchup we have to talk about. Me versus Gorman. I'm projected to win. I don't know if Gorman's like lineup is set though.
He's
He
got
has
some
Alan
buys.
Lazard in as flex.
He's got Saquon
Yeah,
on bye.
he's got
wait,
Saquon
go down.
on
I think
bye.
he's got.
he's got
Is
quite a
Bucky
few
Irving
buys.
better than Alan Lazard here?
Could be.
I don't
Yeah, I mean flex players just depends on what you want to, who you want to
Yeah, you
start,
kinda
I
just
guess.
pick one
Problem
and
is
cross
the
your fingers.
Jets are in London in the morning, I think. So I assume that's always
Maybe
a
Lazard
lower
will be-
scoring
I fucking
game.
He'll be
hate-
sleepy.
I hate the London games. Last year when I
Yeah.
played Austin, ETN got like 35 points for him in the London game against me. I like woke up at 10 o'clock or like 10:30, and at that point ETN already had like 20. I was like, great, this is fucking stupid. Yeah, let's go through this real quick. Ryan, who's gonna win, me or Gorman?
Well, I'm definitely picking you. Gorm's got a little bit of a curse over his head, in my opinion.
Oh, the jump curse. Paul, who are you
Yeah.
picking?
I was gonna say it in the beginning of the show. I kind of forgot when we were going over previous scores of week 4. I do like your bench has come alive big time. So even though your bench doesn't matter in this case, I do like your team for the future, and I feel like this is the beginning of a little winning streak.
Oh, Dave, who are you picking?
I might have to go a little against the grain on this one.
Ooh, go.
Oh,
The only thing about Gorman's team I'm not a fan of is Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much the
And
only
I
thing I haven't
also-
liked about his team. But like, who's he going to start? Derek Carr? I don't
And
really
it
know.
is against
No, yeah,
Carolina.
Yeah.
I guess that's tough.
I don't know. This is also a very tough one. I feel like all of these have been tough to pick. I'll go Gorman on this one.
We're going a little
I think
against
there's
the
a good
grain.
slate this week.
Yeah,
I'm
this
going
is
against
a
the
good slate.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think most of the games at least look like they're going to be close. Like, how many times do we get Mike against someone in the? I guess we did have Mike versus Dave the other week, but still, good slate overall. Anyone, Paul? Who's your game of the week if you had to pick?
game of the week would be Ryan and Steve for sure.
Ryan, who do you think game of the week is?
Can you scroll up again? Oh, I'm looking at the trade bowl. I think that's going to be fun.
Dave.
Wake up. You know what? Yeah, we'll go Ryan and Steve. I was gonna maybe go Paul and Nick.
Yeah, that's an underrated one. I feel like
There's
that's
so many
almost
good
like.
ones here.
So
I
I'm
do
It's
like
going
so
that
with
one.
I'm going with the trade bowl too because this means so much to both Chip
right.
and
It's
Austin.
just like really
Yeah.
fun to see what's going to happen.
But not
here.
only that, like Austin needs to win. I'd say Chip made this move to try to win now, so he needs to win.
I think it was
Like-
opposites, right? Chip made it to win now, and Austin's probably thinking for later, right?
Yeah,
This
that's
al-
what he
this
was saying.
almost
That's a
feels
pretty
like-
strong.
This almost feels like, this like Steve versus Ryan is. Let's say it'd be like the Ravens versus the Bengals last week of the season with, like a number 1 seed on the line or something. Not for this season, but I'm just saying in general. And like, so like that's where all the headlines are going to be at, because it's like that's the best game of the week. But then you have this underrated Nick versus Paul where it's like, Texans versus Chiefs or something, and it's like, oh man, like a playoff spot on the line for this, and like again, 2 good teams just not in the like inner division, even though you guys are. But I'm saying like it's not getting the headline it should because of the bigger matchup between Ryan and Steve. So we got a lot of good matchups this week. It's it's an exciting slate we got here, guys.
Great time to be a Footbaps fan.
Yeah, this is
For sure.
the perfect. If you're just joining us now for the first time this year, this is the perfect time to join in. 4 weeks into the season, we got a little bit of an idea of what these teams look like, but maybe we don't, because blockbuster trades can happen whenever, and that's what this week has shown us. Does anyone else have any final comments here before we sign off?
I think
Mark Andrews on the trade
yeah.
block. So.
Oh,
I think
okay.
all-
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything important. I was just gonna say I feel like this is a record for longest Footbap episode. So congrats everybody.
Oh yeah,
Let's go.
everyone's in for
I'm
a
glad to
treat.
be part of history.
Yeah, this is definitely history. The most guests we've ever had too, if I
yeah.
had to guess. Like we have like 5 people in here.
One for the
Dave,
history
thanks for
books.
coming on last minute. Ryan, I know Ryan's ass is gonna pick up, but not like since you weren't already on Discord, I appreciate you hopping on. Okay, thanks,
Yeah,
Dave.
Oh, me? I thought you were talking about Ryan. I thought you said Ryan. I was like,
I'm
wait,
on
it's Ryan?
Discord, Dave.
Okay.
That was you,
No,
man.
yeah, no problem. I was just chilling and I got the text and I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do a little guest appearance.
All right, everyone, get amped up for this week, and Footbap Nation.
Let's
Let's
ride.
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 Let's ride.